And we're back. So I got editing software, so we'll leave right off. Roommate had to talk to me for a second. I think I might leave the hard fuck in there because I was 15 minutes in. I was on such a rant. But back to keeping your relationship upbeat, keeping your relationship stimulated. That's definitely something you have to do. You got to think outside the box. You got to do cool shit, and you got to do new shit that you might not want to do at first. But if you're doing it with somebody that you love, and just their sheer happiness and their willingness to do stuff with you is really cool, and it eliminates that need for that outside connection and stimulation. So something to be wary about. And also, guys, or girls too, really, I have it just because it's fun, it just causes problems. It really does, and it's not worth the aggravation. It's not worth losing a relationship over, for sure. And it's not it's just not all right. I'm all set with that. So I wanted to finish with what I think the 3 biggest downfalls are to a relationship. So this is speaking again from experience, speaking from observation, and just obvious things. Everything is always 20/20 hindsight. I can't stress that enough. So my first thing is communication. I am terrible at communication. At least I have been terrible at communication. It's always been kind of a one-way street. I notice that a lot. The thing about when you're my age, when you're 26, anywhere from 20, 20 you're doing your thing. 22, 23 to 27, 28. That's the window where you're trying to set yourself up for success. You're trying to build your career. You're trying to build your life, and to grow as a person while also being in a relationship, being on a team with somebody else, and building not only you but the relationship can be a lot. And you sometimes lose focus of that. I know I do. I know I'm very self-focused, and that's why, and to try to better myself, when in reality you should be doing that for your team, your relationship. And that's why you run into problems, is because your lack of communication, your inability to stay on the straight and narrow when it comes to just discussing things, things that bother you, and problems, and things that every relationship runs into, things that shouldn't be a big deal become a big deal because you don't communicate them. And another one is sharing how you feel. So sharing your emotions with your significant other. I think that's huge. Not only the bad. I'm not even just talking about bad. I'm talking about good as well. Appreciate your partner, appreciate your significant other, because it goes a long way. Even the smallest gesture, taking 2 minutes to go out of your way to show appreciation for that person, can make the difference. Trust me, because I don't know if you remember a couple episodes ago, I was telling you, dude, she's got her eyes out there, that she's noticing some shit. She's picking up on every single time you broke plans, you did whatever you wanted. You didn't appreciate something that she did, things that she goes out of her way for, and vice versa. I mean, I'm not speaking to any one specific gender here, because we all do it. It's 2016, right? We're all out here, and we're all doing the same thing. That's equality for you guys. So it's just take the 5. It can be anything from a big extravagant vacation on a holiday to stopping and buying her flowers on the way home from wherever. It's and a lot of times it's the little things that go a lot farther. It's because you go on that big extravagant trip, or get her that beautiful necklace, or shoes she wanted, or something like that, something big like that. you tend to like be like, well, I got that stuff, or I got him that stuff, and kind of hold it over their head without even knowing it. And that sometimes can be a big problem in a relationship. So, and it doesn't always have to be monetary either. It doesn't have to be gifts. It can just be, you know, a text, a phone call, whatever, you know, just sitting down and saying thank you, you know, telling them that you love them, you know, kissing the cheek or whatever. Like, just go that extra mile, do that little extra thing for your teammate to show your appreciation and communicate how you feel about them, because you know how you feel about somebody. You know how you feel, right? They don't know. You say it, like, come on, like, and you always say it when you're arguing. That's another thing. You always say it when you're in a fight. Like, you know, you don't love me the way you say you do. And it's like, because your actions speak louder than your words, and this is all tied in together. So it's not even three things, right? It's the whole workflow. It's the whole entire process of being in the relationship that you need to understand. You need to learn that, and that gets lost in translation when you're trying to build your personal empire, and you're taking focus away from the greater good that is your relationship. Because one, you're definitely taking it for granted. There's no doubt about that. Everyone's done it at one point in time, but you have that person to pick you up when you're not pulling your slack, and vice versa. That's huge. Two, the lack of communication and inability to communicate. Oh my god, dude, what an idiot! I just have a lot here. Like, you guys know what I'm saying, though. It's the all-encompassing of these little things that break down a relationship, grinds at the foundation to the point of breaking. And it's unfortunate too, because one side tried a lot harder than the other one did. There's no doubt about that. There's always a one side that fought for it and fought for it and fought for it, and then once it's gone, the reality has come into place where it's like, holy shit, like, I thought that I was doing all this on my own. I was accomplishing this, and it's like, no, dude, you guys were doing it together. Like, you were doing it as a unit, and now half of that is gone, and you're like, well, what the hell? Like, well, this was fun, and you realize that the good part of it was your relationship, not what you're accomplishing personally, and that's something that you really need to take a look inside and realize. And for a lot of you, it's going to be too late. It's going to be, and hopefully you can you know, learn from other people's mistakes, learn from your own too, and bring a little bit of learning from every experience to eventually either save what you can, or you know, start over with somebody new, and you know, really bring everything you learn to the table, because that's what helps you grow. That's what helps you grow as a person, is experience. It's on the job training. Nobody trains you. Like, yeah, you can be respectful of women and appreciate them and things like that, but you're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna, I don't know, you're gonna learn from them. That's just the reality of it. And that kind of ties into what I had written down last, was the immaturity factor. So you're talking about a 23-year-old kid who was like, how do I explain this? So you're talking about a kid who doesn't even know himself, or they know themselves in a specific way, right? So independent, hardworking, you know, all this good stuff, but never really was in a relationship that was as, I don't want to say good, what's the word I'm looking for, as important and full of love that a real relationship should have. Like, you know, that's your first relationship that really means something to you. I mean, you think that others do, but you're single now. Like, you didn't give a shit. But there was a time where you were like, I love this person. Like, they're amazing. And it didn't work out. And you were a little upset, but you moved on. And then there's that relationship that, was different. It was crazy. And you were like, this is like any other old relationship. But then once something goes wrong, or something changes, or you are, doing your own thing and, being an idiot like kids do, then they're gone. And you're like, oh, shit. Like, that sucks, but I'll be fine. You're like, I'll be fine. And then time goes by, and you're like, oh, this isn't going away. Like, I'm not fine. Like, this isn't okay. Like, and then it starts to turn. Like, and you start realizing all these things. Like, I was an asshole. I was a huge asshole. Like, and then you get to the point where you're like, why the fuck did they stay as long as they did? Like, never mind. Why did they leave? Why did they stay? Like, that's crazy. Like, you're such a douchebag. But that's the learning curve. That's how it is, and it's unfortunate. And if you can take everything you've learned, and that's why when girls or guys go back to their ex, it's usually in like the first month or 2 months, and it's unsuccessful. Like, because that doesn't. You can say all these things, and you're like, I've changed. I'm a better guy, and like, I've learned and I've missed you, and you sell them on it. Like, you sell them. The guys are the best salesmen. It's incredible. I mean, girls are just like, yeah, I'm hot, and like, I'll start hooking up with you again. And guys are like, yeah, I'll sign up with that. That sounds great. But for a guy, it's like you have to bring so much more to the table, and guys just sell themselves, and it's incredible. And you do it. You do it for a couple months, and then all of a sudden you revert back to your old ways, and then that's that. It's like you didn't take the time. You didn't go through the pain. You didn't pay your dues. You didn't learn from your experience. You just wanted to chase. You wanted to get back with your ex, and like, because you thought it was something that you couldn't do, and then you're successful, and it's like, all right, well, I can go back to my old ways. I won. I did it. No, dude, it's a completely different relationship. It's completely different, and you have to bring the value to the table too. You have to meet her or him halfway, if not more, because you need to compensate. Because the second there is an ounce of doubt in their head, you're fucking gone. You're gone. Like, if he or she looks at you and is just like, and just gets that bad taste in the back of their mouth again, and they're like, fuck this, dude. Like, I'm out on all this shit. That's the reality. So you have to be on your game 24/7. And it's not even on your game. It's, you have to change you. You have to change how you look at the relationship, how you value your partner, how you value your team, and change your ways for the better. And only time can do that. Only experience can do that. Both good and bad. I mean, we're all out here living life. It's tough love, and it's such an interesting approach. Sorry, I know that we had such a serious episode this week, but I'm seeing a lot of people out there that are just fucking up. Like, they're just fucking up, and they're fucking up in the same way that I did, and it drives me crazy, because it's like, you have no idea what you have until it's gone. And there's a good chance that when you break up, like, you're sad for a couple months or a couple weeks, whatever. Oh my god, fucking Chirp City. a couple months go by, and then you're good again, and then that tells you, all right, like, I was right, that relationship wasn't that big a deal, like, I'm good, you move on to the next one. Or a couple months go by, and you're like, wow, I'm still pretty fucked up, and you try to ignore it, but then you're sitting there, and the wheel starts to turn, and you realize that you need to do something, you need to change something, because it's not going to work out. Not only with that person that just left, but with anybody else. Because you can put on a facade for a couple months, but then you're going back to your old ways, and then you start the process over again. And you really have to look internally and grow as a person and mature as a person and work on your ability to be the responsible adult and the responsible partner that person needs you to be. All right, moving on. So the boys, we were at the bar. We'll get a little light now. Shout out to what do we call you? I'll call you by your name. Shout out to Brian and Sal, chirping me the whole fucking show. Appreciate all the support. They're the ones that are calling me all the time, telling me to put another episode up. So here you go. They want me to go to Facebook Live. I think I need a little bit more of a following before we get to that. And thanks to all the Twitter followers chirping. Quote, real webcasters have priorities. I see where yours lie. Fantastic. Shout out to Bri. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Kaner. This one's for you, buddy. So we were talking about fake tits last night. That's right, I said fake tits. We're going there. If you've watched this far, you're obviously a dedicated listener. Here's a little treat for you. I love when my strippers have big tits. I love when my strippers have big fake tits, because that's awesome. Because it's Fantasyland, it's Chuck E. Cheese for male adults. It's just a fun time, right? So we're like a McDonald's Playhouse, and we're in the ball pit, except it's ladies, and it's a good time. Now, I don't want, I'm not a big, my girlfriend has fake tits, like, they're huge, they're in her fucking face, like I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of gawking. I'm not a big fan of that look at me mentality. I don't date it. I don't like it. If that's you, baby, go out and do it. If you can make money doing it, stripping, modeling, Instagram model, selling, whatever, dude, escorting, whatever. Go for it, honey. Make that money. I'm all about that. But it's just not something that I find attractive to, something that I would want in my everyday life. Now, if you are getting a breast enhancement or a breast reduction to boost your self-confidence and your comfortability, not only in the public life but the private life, all for it. Fully support that decision. If it's going to make you more confident as a woman and more comfortable in your everyday life, then I am a fake tit guy. Okay, I see both sides of the fence. If you're exploiting it for money and attention, I'm not about that. If it's for comfortability and sensibility in your own life, then I'm completely on board for that, because everyone should feel comfortable in their own body. I mentioned I was putting on a couple lbs. I've been given a 11-month homework assignment to look svelte for the beach life. I'll be out there looking tight. I'm going on that Sean diet. I'm going to be looking svelte. I'm going to be looking good. A couple Tough Mudders coming my way. I'll be crawling under barbed wire, going up the walls and shit like that. Motherfucker, of course. Like, Mike's been working out for, 3 years head start. Now, but I'm going to have the locks, so, he's bumming there, and I can grow a beard, and I'm funny, so I'm good. I'm good, but need the whole package. I'm going to be fucking huge. So, I'm looking forward to that. Kenny, thank you so much again for asking me to be on the team. I know it's a small wedding. I know it's a small party. Thank you so much for thinking of me. It's really great to know that even after all this time, we can go out to the bars and just pick up right where we left off, because we all live busy lives. I know we all do. But sometimes you got to make time for your buddies. You got to make time for your friends. And, little extra long episode for you guys. There's episode 3. This is going to be full episode 3. We'll start fresh this weekend with episode 4. Going to have a guest on. It's going to be great. Going to crush some beers, light beers. Going to crush Bud Select 55s because I'm on the beach diet. Started in October this year. So I'm looking forward to that. At DOTTS27 on Instagram and on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. It's toughlove.weebly.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next week, it's tough love, baby.